What is going on, guys? Munchie here, and this vid is going to be about choosing your main champions. Now, the first thing I'm going to say about main champions is why to pick main champions. The main reason is, if you've ever heard the phrase "jack of all trades, master of none," that is the perfect description of why you pick main champions. If you play about 20 different champions in the mid lane, you'll be fairly good at all of them, but not excellent at any of them. Whereas if you pick like 3 or 4 main champions and you just play those 4 champions in the mid lane as much as you possibly can, then you will get so much better at those 4 champions, and you won't be sort of wasting time practicing champions that you're never going to play. So my 3 main champions are Ziggs, Diana and Ryze. Now the reason I picked each of these champions is Ziggs, you have lots of long range poke, lots and lots of CC, really good roaming with your ultimate, and actually quite good burst as well, surprisingly, from Ziggs. If you've got all your moves up and you can land your skill shots, you have a lot of burst as well. I've got Diana because she's an assassin, and I would definitely recommend having at least one assassin in your 3 champions, because squishy targets, if the enemy team is a lot of squishies and you have an assassin, it's too good. And then my 3rd champion is Ryze because he is tanky. So when my team requires a tanky mid, or if they have a lot of assassins on the enemy team, I'll pick Ryze because you can build tanky and still do a lot of damage. Now, the first champion I would recommend you picking for your 3 mains would be your best mid champion. Even if they're currently not the best champion in the game, that doesn't matter, because if you're going to main these 3 champions, you're going to stick with them when they get nerfed, you're going to stick with them when they get buffed. So eventually your champion will be the best champion in the game at some point. Well, not necessarily, but you know, there will be strong times and there will be not so strong times. But if you continue to play them, then they are still good, so long as you play them well. For your 2nd champion, what I would recommend is you can fit him into 3 roles, like an assassin, a tanky sustain, and then someone with a lot of poke. Or you can Google the counter for your main champion and then counter that counter, if you see what I mean. So generally the counter will have like a category to go in. So like Ziggs is my poker, Diana's an assassin, Ryze is sustain damage. Generally speaking, now there are a lot of exceptions to this, like it's a little bit like rock paper scissors, different categories counter other categories. So if you can counter your main counter, then you'll be able to counter the majority of your counters, if you see what I mean. And then do the same for your 3rd champion. My number 1 piece of advice for this is have at least 20 wins on each of the champions before you play them in ranked, because if you don't, you won't understand the champion properly. You may feel like you're good with it, but generally speaking, your elo in ranked should be higher than your elo in normal, so the opponents in rank will be better, and also you're much more likely to be counterpicked, you're much more likely to be aggressively jungled against. A lot more goes on in ranked, in my experience, than it does in normals. So try and get at least 20 wins on each champion before you do ranked with them, if not more. Okay, that's it for this video. Once you do this, you'll have your 3 main champions. You shouldn't be able to be beaten ever again by anyone in lane, if you practice enough. If you do get to that stage, probably go pro if you can never lose lane. So yeah, win games, get elo. Thanks for watching. If you learned anything or enjoyed the content, please like the video. If you want to see more from Be A Better Mid, please click the subscribe button. It is completely free. And yeah, see you next time, guys, and as always, good luck and have fun.